Coaches, today on the channel, we're going to attack one of those long-standing debates we have in society. No, not Coke versus Pepsi or McDonald's versus Wendy's or KFC's versus Popeyes or anything like that. Today, we're going to attack one of the biggest debates in the air raid, stick or swing. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Airraidnation. This is Coach Coltharp coming to you again today. And today on the channel, we got a great video. I spent a couple of weeks ago, we went up to the Carolina clinic, and I spent a little time with Coach Longo, who everybody knows is one of my favorite air raid guys in the country. And just he talked for an hour on why stick, and it was just amazing listening to somebody talk for an hour on stick. And you know, I'm pretty good at this stuff. I've been doing it for, you know, almost 10 years now, and I thought I knew pretty much everything there was to know about why stick, but Lord, was I wrong. And so today on the channel, I'm going to share with you some of the information he shared with us that really changed the way I look at the play. And if this is some of the kind of things that you like on the channel and you want to see more of this stuff here on Airraidnation, man, I would love if you drop a like on the video. If this video could get 100 likes in the first couple of days, it would really help the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed, which about 50% of you guys haven't, man, subscribe to the channel, click your notification bell on so you know when we go live. We're going to try to get a little bit more regular now that the off season's kicking in and we're getting ready to go to spring ball, and we'll have a little bit more content to share with you. All that being said, let's get into the video. All right, guys, here we are over in our Just Play software, and just I've kind of drawn up the whole kind of conversation we had with Coach Longo about stick, and it was like I said, it was just an amazing experience. Like, you know, he started talking, and just like an hour later, me and Coach Salas and about 5 or 6 other coaches were just sitting there like, okay, wow, we're gonna have to really digest this, because a lot of people know that stick is probably the simplest play in the air raid. It's, you know, everybody carries it. You know, a lot of guys who don't specifically run air raid still run some sort of stick concept. And, you know, one of the biggest, you know, things, and if you had seen any of my other videos or my coursework that I put out on CoachTube, you know that I am a swing to stick guy. That was me, and that's how Coach Mummy taught it to me the very first time. And then, of course, you know, I went and saw Mike Leach, and Mike Leach and Coach Salas are both stick to swing guys. So it's, you know, it's really interesting that in the world of the air raid, there's just two schools to that. And I never thought there was going to be any kind of in between until we sat down with Coach Longo and listened to him talk. And so, you know, he talked for about 15-20 minutes just about the go route. And, you know, he calls it $1,000 route. He tells the quarterback, if you think you can win that, go ahead and throw it. Some of those key points to him, though, is he wanted to throw it around 15 to 18 yards. He didn't want to throw a 30-yard bomb. He said, you know, statistically, and he's a big data guy, which is also pretty interesting just to hear him talk, how he just can just rip off data about certain things. But just how the data is so much better on a 15 to 18-yard throw versus a 30-yard throw, which seems like common sense, but you know, he actually had the numbers to drop it off. And then the one thing that he talked about with that Z route there was teaching his guys to lean back and let the ball come over their shoulder, which is something we've always done. And he talks about how they actually do a walking drill. They don't run the route. They basically, you know, 50% just like kind of like walk the drill, and quarterbacks just throw the ball over their shoulders, and they practice leaning back and letting that ball come over, which is, you know, is pretty interesting. And I've seen that, you know, plenty of times. And, you know, you've heard me talk about running the numbers and the only way you go outside the numbers is the quarterback puts you there. So that was a big deal. One of the other big things that he talked about was this backside H route, and using that to control the mic. If they start doing an exchange where the one inside guy is running to the stick and or running to the flat and he's running to the stick, now they'll look at this guy here and throw that. So that's one of those things where using that backside H route to control the inside linebacker from running to your stick route was something else he talked about. And I know you guys see this part over here, and I'll talk about that in a second, which I thought was pretty interesting. You guys know I'm a joker concept guy, and he's a joker concept guy too. So he's going to run that inside sit and that 5-yard in route right there on the backside of that. And for me, when I do stick, if I get pressed, man, I'm immediately going backside. He doesn't necessarily do that. Okay, so here was kind of the aha moment on that. He is a swing guy. He will tell you he likes to swing. And if they're doing if people are doing some exchanging, like they're running to the shoot with one inside backer or outside backer, they will convert to a swing route on this deal. But he said his completion percentage was much higher on shoot. And I know I've heard Coach Mackey, I think, talk about that before. One of the reasons why he, from year to year, he goes from one play to another, depending on, where his quarterbacks have comfort in what they throw. So if you got one shoot route going, if you throw shoot better than you do swing, then he'll do that. If they throw swing better than they do shoot, they'll do it the other way. So that's just kind of how he decides it. But what he described was they teach their running backs to attack the vertical stem of Y, which is really, really interesting. I've never really given them a landmark like that, but they want to replace that vertical stem and then get flat. And he said it helps them get out just a lot faster. And they don't really even, he said with his hitch, his stick route, he doesn't even like teach them to attack a certain shoulder or anything like he used to old school. He's like, look, man, just run 4 yards and turn around. There's no retrace out or anything like that. It's so simple. It's ridiculous. Like you would think that there was some complicated stuff because I've taught it attacking one shoulder versus the other shoulder, and we've changed it back and forth. And he's like, look, man, we just told him to run 4 yards and turn around. And so here was the aha for me, and he calls it scream or blur. And that's how he reads this. So we asked him, hey, are you a stick swing guy? I know you have said in the past. And what they've done is they teach their quarterbacks to actually read this area right here. Read the area in between the stick and the shoot. And if one of those routes is screaming, hey, I'm open, you throw it. If one of those routes blurs, like it's not sure, you go to the other one. And so I thought, wow, that's crazy. Well, then when we got back to school the following week, Coach Salas took our quarterback out, who's going to be a pretty good player, but he's only played JV. He hasn't played varsity really. Took him out and they threw this play 12 times, I think it was, and they completed every one. And we tried to get our defensive guys to just confuse them, and we told them read that area. And if one of them's screaming open, throw it. The other one's screaming open, throw that one. And he completed 12 for 12. And so I think this is how we're going to do it this year. And because they're reading that area, you're able to see both routes in your peripheral. And it just really, really was an interesting concept. We took it back to school, practiced it, and it was just amazing how we do that. All right, so that's the screen blur thing. Hit up Coach Longo on Twitter. He's real cool about responding if you have any more questions on that. But let's go over here to the back side of this, and I want to show you the last little piece. All right, so you see over here we have a post wheel. Coach Longo and them have started putting like post wheel on the backside of some of their quick game because if it's not there, if you read the front side and then you go back to and you have quick game on the backside, it's hard to complete. So they're able to put kind of a 5-step route on the backside. So they'll take their quick one here. If they don't like it, he'll retreat a couple plays, steps, and then read post wheel. So that's an interesting idea for you guys. If you don't want to have an automatic check to the quick side, to the backside like I do versus press coverage, if you still want to try to read that, then you can put like post wheel on the backside. And if you can't beat the man coverage over here on the front side of that, then you can read a post wheel on the backside and possibly get a big play. So that was kind of another great nugget on this. Like I said, he talked about this play for like an hour. It was freaking amazing. If you ever get a chance to go spend time with Coach Longo and talk football, man, it's well worth it. All right, guys, thank you for watching today's video, man. I hope you learned something from it. It was really enjoyable for us to spend that time up at Carolina with Coach Longo. Hey, listen, if you're an aspiring head football coach, on May the 1st, we're going to be doing a new clinic. It's going to be called the Head Coaching Academy, and I've got 5 or 6 head coaches who've played in state championship games, or somebody like me who, I don't have this huge winning record because I go to places that haven't been very good and try to fix them, and then kind of go on. That's kind of my routine. But you know, I've got a bunch of guys who played for state championships who've had several different jobs. Are going to come in and talk about things that you think you don't need to know, but you really do if you want to be a high school head football coach. So I'll put the link to that clinic down in the description. If you use the promo code YouTube, you can get 15% off your ticket. It's a $25 ticket anyway, so it's not really super expensive. But I promise you, it'll be well worth your time to spend some time with us and learn some of the things. And you'll always get lifetime access to the video over on CoachTube anyway, so you'll have a recording of that and you can add it to your professional collection. Hey, all that being said, man, if you haven't liked the video yet, please drop a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Make sure you hit your bell notification. And as always, spin it to win.